I don't have IT skills. How can I start learning AI? So before you start, you need to figure out two things. The first thing is, how much time do you actually have to put into actually learning AI? So if you only have like 30 minutes a day, it's going to take you longer, right? That would be the first question. Now, the second question is, what is your actual end goal? So where do you want to be from zero to actually starting to building apps that might be your one, or you may be build like a full SaaS. So once you figure out what your end goal is, it's going to be way easier for you. So once you know how much time you want to spend on actually building and you know what your end goal is, next thing would be just start slow. Just do like 30 minutes a day should be enough. And then, for example, what do you actually want to build? You want to automate your workflows, you want to build a full business, you want to get a job in AI, you need to have a goal in mind. So once you figure these two things out, I'm going to lay out a few steps that I think are very important for you to have as simple benchmarks. So the way I see it right now is basically just beginning. So the first thing you shouldn't do is overthink it. So just ask AI to build something. Yeah, you can use a simple interface as Claude Code. So it'd be just you prompting the AI to ask you something, and then based on what you come up with, we can just build and ship something really fast. That means you can either get the VS Code's route, so it can be VS Code where you just install the actual IDE, or it could just be simple, just use the Claude Code. They already have an app, and then automate something simple, build a small app, or just solve some easy problems. You literally learn by doing, so it will help you reading docs later, but just try and stick with doing. Level 2 would be to actually know what you are using, so the tech stack in a name. It's super easy to start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Not only that it's free, it's basically the stepping stones for doing any app on the internet. So you don't need to know any React frameworks, just do vanilla and it would be enough for you to actually learn and build stuff. The next level would be to start building and trying to understand what you're actually building. So even if it's just simple build, you can literally start building web pages, web apps, lead magnets, anything just with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Once you feel more comfortable after building several apps with those, it's more important to try and understand the actual architecture of the build you are doing and the scope. Do you need to actually build for more visitors? Do you need to add a security, a firewall? Like, what are the limitations of your actual tech stack that you need to implement something now? This is why it helps if you just keep on using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you just don't just jump into the next framework and the next framework and the next framework, because you can see what your actual stack can handle and what it can't handle. So this leads me to level 5. What this means, where your actual basics, you actually hit a wall. So you actually need to expand and gather new tools. And a simple way would be to actually use Claude Skills and automate your workflows, or start using Python with an actual database to do scripts, save things more thoroughly. Then you can actually find out what MCP tools are, what webhooks are, so you can automate your processes even better. Stop hitting the walls with your actual tools. It's super easy to start building bigger. One necessary and important thing is you don't have to add every single one all at once. You don't have to be just gonna learn Claude Skills and Python databases and MCPs and webhooks, everything in one day. You can literally like take Claude Skills, just take maybe even a few weeks, just be like week 1 you just do simple stuff, week 2 you just push the boundaries of what you can do with Claude Skills. Then you add Python, week 1, week 2, maybe it takes you a full month to do Python and databases. Then maybe another week or month to do MCP external tools. So even though the time isn't learn everything in 2 weeks, it might take you longer. I think it's way better to do it this way, because you have a better understanding of what is actually going on with the full tech stack. So this leads into our level 6. So this was level 5. So pretty much same as level 3, you simply build and expand your toolkit, basically, as I mentioned, building again, which brings me to level 7. So until now, everything was done locally. Once you hit level 7, you might want to try and deploy things on the internet, and also look into adding security to your build. So until now, everything was locally. You didn't have that much need for actual security and implementation, so everything was on your actual computer. But now, once you start deploying to the cloud, you need to be aware of implementing firewall. I highly recommend using Cloudflare for that. You have to make sure your code doesn't leak, so I'd say use Sentry for that. Then you might add, for your toolkit, you might add linting, where you basically check the code to make sure it is not prone to error, and you respect not only the actual conventions, but also you're not messing up. Also, you see here I've brought TypeScript, so I don't personally use TypeScript, but way better programmers than me actually suggest that it's a stronger fit. So that's basically step 7. You can just go online, deploy it, make sure it's protected, and monitor your actual errors and everything, which leads me to step 8. So once you know how to do this, you might want to go into actually securing everything with a login and also a database online. So basically using a BAS, which stands for backend as service, basically manages your full backend, helps you with authentication and access control. So the backend of service, basically you can use Supabase or Firebase. These are the tools I've heard the most about. I personally just use Supabase. Then you can implement in one of these Postgres databases, you can add authentication, so Google logins or mail logins, but yeah, basically Auth. And then inside these databases, you can basically set a row level security, which basically is like a simple container that you can basically have information secured in boxes inside of the actual database, so you don't have people from box 1 see what people in box 2 have or people in box 3. Once you get to level 8, you might want to take your actual skills deeper if this is actually something you want to learn. If you already know how to do this, you might want to look into how to have persistent memory across all sessions, build your own system like a RAG system. So that would be step 9. So yeah, building your own knowledge retrieval system, which I've done in the past. I think it works wonderful if you do it right, especially for local. So that would be a system of a RAG and a CAG, basically a simple database where you actually store all the conversations. So if you want to recall something for a project, or like remember what you did a few months ago, you can simply go into the database, either search semantically, so the actual meaning of the thing you were looking for, or have a keyword exact match. For this, I recommend using BM25, obviously if you're into that, and then have even a hybrid search where you can do either semantically or the exact word match. Right now, Claude Code has 1 million context window, basically a RAG of 1 million context tokens, and it recently just went from I think it was 250, so it basically did a 4x just recently. So you can basically store in a chat window with when you actually build is basically 1 million context, like that's the context of the build you're doing when talking to Claude. But if you actually implement a full database, you can literally get infinite simply based on how much storage you've got, but you can have like close to infinite amount of understanding and memory and what you're building. So this is why I think it's important. I put it at level 9 because you have to understand how to use RAG systems. You need to know how to actually, if you actually want to build this, you need to know like a vectorial database would work with actual chunking and overlaying, overlapping. It's a bit of a deeper dive into actual building, but this is why I've said depends on where you want to end. If your goal is just to be at level 5 or level 6, you can do plenty with that as well. And I think I'm not going to do 100 levels, but I think the 100 level would be where you actually learn how to code. So like, I think that is, even though people are saying coding is that, like, that is probably the best thing you can have right now, because there's like, once you get super good, you're just going to be in the grain stuff. So that should be the end game. Like, understand the granular part of things and actually how to read the code, not just the output, because it will give you such a great advantage over what everyone else is doing. And also you can see the trade-off of, for example, using Python, using Go, using Rust, and understand the actual concurrency that Go has, or the build speed that the Rust has, or the actual libraries that Python has, which makes it super useful right now. And then you can literally do the hybrid where you use traditional skills and AI, and I think that is where the most majority of execution will go and should go, is where you actually use traditional skills like your actual engineering skills and develop things that AI can do for you at a much faster pace. So that's probably level 100. There's obviously 100 things you can do until you get here. So yeah, this is pretty much the full spec. So as a quick recap, basically you start here with no IT skills. You just go level 1, you just build something, then you just simply try and learn the tools and understand the tools you're using in level 1. For level 3, you just want to try and build while understanding. So you basically not only know the tools, not just build with them, but like iterate over it. Then once you feel you're comfortable with your actual tech stack and the software you're using, you should try and figure out the actual architecture of what you are actually building. So that means knowing why you are using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and not an actual framework like React and like Framer or whatever other tools there is. If there's a use case where you can actually use React and TypeScript rather than HTML and CSS, you can also add them as your new tool. So I'm just going to grab this thing that was already built with React, and I'm going to add it to my actual toolboxes, and now I can use this thing as well from here. Once you get your new tools, what I suggest is obviously just start building again. And then once you're comfortable with this, then once you do this, you might want to look into actual deployment. Once you figure out deployment, you might want to look into actually having a backend, a service, or authentication. And then I suggest like going for like understanding RAG and CAG and all that, like LLM architecture and all the trade-offs. And yeah, like once you get to level 100, basically just try and actually learn the syntax of what function are and what a header is in HTML and what the body does and divs and everything. So you can be more proficient at your actual AI usage. So yeah, most people are set at level 5, 6. This is not me saying this. This is what Claude AI says. I don't know if that is the actual truth. So yeah, it's mostly a matter of just practicing and figuring out what works for you, because some things work for some people, some other things work for other people. Hope this helped. It took me a bit of time to put this together, but if it helps you, I'm super happy with that. So yeah, have an amazing day. Wish you nothing but the best.